ID field. So in our previous class also, we discussed about how to create an external ID field in our object. So I hope everyone remember that point, right?
Yes, Riku.
So with the help of these external ID, we are going to map the data, and then uh, we can load the data based on these external ID only. So now what we can do, we can use these external ID data with the help of like external ID data. We are going to prepare in a file, and then we can upload in our target doc. So first we will try to like update data. Data, right? We need to careful about the settings called date, as well as whatever the IDs we are having in our org. Okay, so in our org we are having an IDs like this, and so here, what happened, right? We are having an IDs that is already same within our arc, so that is fine. But as I mentioned, so if you're like trying to load in a target arc, if you're like trying to load in target arc, whenever records is created, then the ID will be changed to the record. At the time, with the help of these ID, external ID, we are going to map old ID and the new ID. So based on that, we can load the data. So now what we can do, I am trying to create a few records. I am trying to create few records in our Salesforce. So at the time, what I'm going to do, simply I can choose a few records data here. So maybe I can go with 4 to 5 records here. So I'm like simply preparing a data here, whatever the records we are having. So I'm trying to create these records. So whatever the data I'm having, I'm going to prepare a new file here, and then whatever the header I'm having, so I'm going to copy the same header. Okay, so here what we can do, whatever the data available, so these data I am going to load in our Salesforce org. So if you would like to load into Salesforce org, first what we need to like we need to verify the records called like IDs. So we are trying to load the same object record, right? Then no issue. In the case of if you're like trying to load into different org, at the time we need to modify these IDs, and then we need to verify is there any phone number fields and then read only fields available in our org or not. In the case of like a read only field, we need to remove all the read only fields. Okay, and then we are having like so these one ID we can do it, and then we are having like a this photo URL, so that is fine. And then we are having like again it is a ID, so we can find with all the records. In the case of like any date fields is there, we need to modify the date field. So here we are having like a system out stamp, so then no issue. But in the case of like any date field is there, then it will throw an error. Any date field is there, then it will throw an error. So as of now, what we are doing, we are like simply preparing one Excel sheet. So within this Excel sheet,
Shrikant, your voice is breaking.
account side like that. So here, whatever the field values available here, same field values we need to specify here. Okay, so account number, and then account source. So then after like account source ID, and then we're having active, and then age of record. So age. So then after like annual revenue. So billing address. So these all are our account field values. Account field values. So under this one, we can populate the values here. So whatever the account, everything I am populating here. Everything I am populating here. So if you are able to populate all these values, I am going to save this file with this .csv extension. I'm going to save this file with a .csv extension. So I'm like simply storing these values, choose the location. So the location is basically I'm going to populate. I'm going to choose the location, more locations, this PC, browse. So here within our folder, I am going to save account load dot csv. So like this, I am preparing in a sheet. So once you prepare a sheet like this, right? So account load dot csv like this, we have prepared a new sheet here. So once we are done with this sheet, then after we are going to upload the data here. We are going to upload the data here. So now I am like trying to create a record here. If you would like to create record, as I mentioned, we are having two types of authentication available: OAuth and then password authentication. So now I am going to choose the OAuth authentication. So earlier we discussed it, right? So we can go with the password authentication. If you are going with the password authentication, you need to provide username, password, and along with the password, security token also you need to provide here. And we also discussed how to generate the security token in our previous class. Okay, so if you would like to log in with the password authentication, you need to provide username, password. Along with the password, you need to provide a security token as well. You need to provide security token as well. So if you're able to provide security token, then only you are able to log into the Salesforce. Then only you are able to log into the Salesforce. So now what we can do. So I'm like trying to log in with the I'm trying to log in with this OAuth authentication. So if you're able to provide username and password, then we are able to log in here. So here, no need to provide like a security token. So simply you can provide like a username and password so that you are able to log in here. So now I'm like trying to log in this user capital dot group, capital dot group. So I'm trying to log in here. My system is not responding. Not sure. Just a minute. So just trying to log in, but it is not responding. So now I'm able to log in, and then I need to give an access to the data loader. So here I'm giving an access hello. So then after I'm going to click on next here. I'm going to click on next here. Click on here. For which object do you want to load the data? You need to select the object here. So if I would like to load the records to the account object, I would like to load the records to the contact object, or I would like to load the records to the opportunity object. For which object do you want to load the record? You need to select the object name here. So now I am selecting a account. Why? Because I have prepared a list of account records. I need to load these list records only. So that's why I have chosen this account object here. And then whatever the file we are having, so the file I am going to verify here. So the file I am verifying here. So here So this file is not saved properly. accountload.csv. Again, I'm going to save it. Save as. So if you are not saved properly, then it will throw an issue. It's not an Excel book. It's like a CSV. So now I'm going to choose this file, account load, and then click on open. So once you are done with the object name as well as the file what you are going to upload, you can simply specify these two values and then click on next here. So if you're able to click on next, it is going to analyze the file, and then how many records available within the file. It is going to like uh, verify number here. It is going to verify number here. So the number is basically like how many records available, whether it may be like 10 records, 20 records, or like 30 records, how many records available. Simply it is analyzing and then providing the corresponding number value here. Whatever the number we are having, so same number we are able to get here. So now simply what I'm able to do, so I am able to load 10 records. I'm like trying to load the 10 records. I'm like trying to upload these file, but it is throwing in a some time taken procedure. So here 10 records, whatever the 10 records available, same 10 records written in here. Once you click on done, so it is asking you to give the field mapping. So now I am going to choose the field mapping here. So if you would like to go with this field mapping, you have two options available: choose an existing map or create a edit map here. So in the case of choose an existing map, in the sense so you are going to repeat this process multiple times. Why? Because if you're like doing the data load, so sometimes you may be getting an issue. So whatever the records you are getting an issue, you need perform multiple times reload. So if you would like to perform multiple times reload, then you are going to simply first prepare these mapping, and then you can save it. Then after you can use it. So now what we are trying to do, I'm trying to do the data load. So if you're doing first time, you need to prepare a map with the help of these create or edit a map. So with the help of these option, you need to prepare these map. So once you are done with this one, right, then you can save this mapping file. Next time, if you're like trying to load account records again, no need to do mapping again. What you can do, you can choose an existing map here. You can choose an existing map here. So now we are doing first time, right? Because of that, I am going to choose these mapping here. So whatever the fields available, and then so whatever the column header available, both are available here. If you see here, right, it is our column header and it is our field value on our account object. So if you are using an auto match fields, right, whatever the fields available, right, simply able to match here. Simply able to match here. In the case of if any of the field is not mapping, in the sense those are a read-only field. Those are read-only fields. So for example, here account number is not matching. So if I'm like trying to map with this account number, and then so here age is basically formula field, and age of record is also formula field, and few other fields available here. So those all are formula fields. Whatever the formula fields available, so those are not populated. Whatever the read-only fields available, so those also not populated. Remaining fields able to populate here. Remaining fields able to populate here. So here whatever the id, we are doing an insert operation, right? Because of that id is empty. We are not populating id value here, and the remaining values we are able to map it here. So like this, whatever the field values available, we are trying to map all the values here. Just give me 1 minute.
Hello, hello,
Yeah, I'm here.
Shrikant.
1 moment. I'm here only.
Hello, Shrikant, your voice is breaking.
Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Shrikant.
Okay. One moment, please. Sorry. Uh, I'm getting another call because of the time like delay. Okay. So here, what we need to do, whatever the column name available in our sheet, so we need to populate with our account object, right? So if you're trying to create new record, so when we are like trying to create new record, here by default, what happened? We need to populate the we need to populate the field name. So whatever the account name and then whatever the contact name, so whatever the like account source, account type, all the values we need to populate here. All the values we need to populate here. So here what we are doing with the help of like a data loader, whatever the values available here, so we need to map in our data loader. So here it is our file header name. It is our file header name. So these file header name we need to map with our object field name. For example, account name. So here in our file also we are having account name. So somewhere like these account source ID, and then active. So and then we are having age of record. So here account source. So somewhere we are having like a name field is there. Somewhere we are having name field is there. So our account name. So these name field, we need to map with our account name. We need to map with our account name. So whatever the field column headers available here, we need to map with our account fields. So if both are like a similar name, both are similar name, then if you choose auto match fields, then automatically it is going to adjust it. So if your file header name is different, and you were like here these values is different, like your field value is different and your file header value is different, then you need to map both the values manually. You need to map both the values manually. And here what happened, we are unable to see like these age and age of record. So why? Because so these two values are formula fields. Whatever the formula fields, read only fields, we need to ignore it. So once you are done with all the fields mapping one by one, so once you have verified, cross check multiple times, so then after you can save this mapping. Whenever you are like trying to do first time, so try to verify these mapping multiple times. Why? Because if you're like wrongly populated, if you're like wrongly map any of the field value, so then automatically what happened, it is going to cross update the values. For example, in the case of like age, I'm going to populate one value, but in the case of like currency, I need to populate the value. If you wrongly map those two field values, right, then it is going to update age value to currency and currency value to the age. So because of that, when you are like trying to do the any of the object first time, just to verify these field mapping multiple times, maybe like cross check multiple times. So if you're able to finalize so each and everything is matching fine, then you can save this mapping. You can save this mapping. I'm going to save mapping is account mapping. I'm simply saving account mapping like this. So if you're able to save, this mapping file is available in our folder. So account mapping.hdl, it is our mapping file. So next time if you are like trying to do the data load, you can use this mapping file. With the help of that, you are able to upload the data. So now once you are done with this mapping, simply click on OK, and then again click on next. So here it is asking you to go with the error and then success file. Whenever you are trying to load the data, whenever you are like trying to do the load the data, it is going to generate the success and then error file. It is going to generate success and then error file. So how many records got success, how many records got failure, so both the files it is going to generate here. So you need to choose the path where you would like to store the corresponding success and then error files. So now I have chosen like our own path, whatever the place we are having. So same path I have defined. So once you are done with this one, simply click on finish. So once you click on finish and then click on yes, then it will start loading here. It will start loading records here. If any of the issue is there, then it is going to throw in error file. If everything is success, then it is going to it is available in our success file. If you see here, right, all the records got failure. All the records got failure. So I'm going to verify. So why it is failure? So simply click on view errors, and then scroll to right side. So you can see these you can see these values here. So the values is basically we are having one custom validation error. So custom validation error for new account type should be prospect only. So we are having one custom validation error. Because of that, we are getting an error here. So if you would like to change these type, then it will work. So in the case of if you would like to data as it is, as I mentioned before, doing the data migration, we need to disable all our validation rules, workflow rules, and then automation tools. So why because so it is going like a re-execute all the things, and then it will perform some errors. It will throw some errors. So because of that, when you are like trying to do the data load with the old data, just deactivate validation rules, and then all all automation tools, whatever the automation tools available. So just deactivate all the automation tools, and then all deactivate all the validation tools on the object, so that you can load the data properly. So now I'm trying to verify these validation rules, and then I'm going to deactivate whatever the validation we are getting here. So now, now the error is we these like type is prospect. So it is an validation rule is there. So because of that, we are getting an issue. So if you see in our folder, you are able to see success and then error file, success and then error file. So if you're able to open these error file, right, you are able to get the errors and everything clearly here. Clearly, you are able to get the errors here. So field here we are getting an error. There is basically for new account type should be prospect. We are getting this error. So now what I'm like trying to do, I'm able to know. So because of field because of custom validation, we are getting this issue. So I'm trying to deactivate this error here. So I'm trying to deactivate this validation rule here. So if you're able to deactivate, so that we can re-upload the data. We can re-upload the data. Same type of exercise, we need to do it multiple times. Okay. So as I mentioned, first we need to load with UAT to the dev sandbox, and UAT to the QA sandbox, UAT to UAT, then finally production to production. So we need like do same activities multiple times. Whatever the issues you are facing, whatever the problem
Shrikant,
you are
your
facing,
voice is breaking.
again you are facing an issue. Is it okay now, or still you are facing an issue?
It's fine. Fine, Shrikant.
Okay. So here,
It's clear, Shrikant.
Not clear. Shivam.
For some people. Hello, Shrikant. Hello.
you are able to,
Shrikant.
still you are facing an issue.
Shrikant. Griffin's voice is breaking.
Not sure network connectivity today. Just one moment.